Hello children. So today we'll start with the first chapter, Matter in Our Surroundings. Okay. The topic to be covered in this chapter are matter, characteristics of particles of matter, states of matter, can matter change its state, and evaporation. The first question that comes in our mind is, what is matter? If you look around us, we can see large number of things of different size, shapes and textures. Right now you might be sitting on a chair looking into your laptop or computer. There might be books, pencil on your table, clock on the wall, fan on your ceiling. We also see other human beings, animals and plants around us. Can see in this picture? So everything that you see around you is matter. But what is exactly? So let us start with the explanation part. What is matter? The condition for something to be matter are, first one, it should occupy space. That is, they have volume. Now look at the first figure. Book on the table. If you keep book, pencil on the table, the book occupies some space on the table. The pencil occupies some space on the table. When you keep a glass of water on the table, the glass occupies some space on the table. The second figure, you can see a carton filled with books. A carton gets filled when you place more and more books because the books occupy space. The second condition for something to be matter is matter has mass. Now, mass is the quantity or amount of matter in an object. It is measured in grams or kg. Mass tells us about the heaviness of an object, how heavy an object is. Look at the figure, a boy holding books. If you hold one book, it is not heavy. But if you start holding more number of books, it becomes heavy. As you keep increasing the books, it becomes more and more heavy. So, anything that occupies space and has mass is called matter. Book is an example of matter. It is in a solid form. Water is an example of matter. It is in liquid state. Air is an example of gas. Now let us find out, is air also a matter? Now, can see this in figure 1. There's a pumping machine, a white color deflated balloon and a weighing machine. The reading on the weighing machine shows 0 gram. Now as you start pumping air in the balloon, so as more and more air is pumped in the balloon, the mass of the balloon increases. The reading of the weighing machine is 0.3 gram. So as we pump air in the balloon, the mass of the balloon increases. It is not only mass that is increasing, even volume of the balloon increases. It means the air particles are occupying space in the balloon. So if air occupies space and mass, so we can say that even air is also a matter. So now we have understood what is matter. Let us learn about classification of matter. Matter can be classified in number of ways. The ancient Indian philosophers, they said that matter is made up of 5 basic elements, Panch Tattva. Okay, the elements are air, earth, fire, sky, and water. But the modern day scientists have classified matter in two ways, based on their physical properties and based on their chemical properties. So under physical properties, we have solid, liquid, and gas. And under chemical properties, we have element, compound, and mixtures. So in this chapter, we will be studying classification of matter based on the physical properties. That is about solid, liquid, and gas. So till now we have learned what is matter. Now let us find out what is matter made up of. Okay, so matter is made up of particles. Take a fresh piece of paper and tear the piece of paper. Keep on tearing the piece of paper. So as we go on tearing the paper, we will reach a stage where we will get the smallest particle of paper. And that smallest particle cannot be divided any further. It means it is indivisible. Okay? And that smallest indivisible unit is called atom. So matter is made up of smallest indivisible unit. Okay? We can say that matter is made up of atoms. Now this term atom was given by a Greek philosopher called Democritus. He derived this word atom from the Greek word atomus, which means indivisible. Okay, so matter, when many small indivisible atoms or small indivisible particles come together, it forms a matter. Now let us find out how small are these particles of matter. Okay, there's an experiment for this. Okay, so now you can see in the figure, take 100 ml of water in a beaker. That is what you can see in the figure, beaker with plain water. Now add 1 or 2 crystals of potassium permanganate, that is KMnO4, in this beaker and dissolve the potassium permanganate. We will get a deep purple colored solution that you can see in beaker number 1. Now we have to keep on diluting this. So take 10 ml of purple colored solution from the first beaker and mix it with 90 ml of water present in the second beaker. Okay, we'll observe that on dilution the color becomes lighter. Okay, it becomes bit lighter when compared with the first beaker. Again, take 10 ml of colored solution from the second beaker and mix it with 90 ml of water present in the third beaker. Okay, the color of the solution will become still lighter when compared with the second beaker. Again, take 10 ml of the solution from the third beaker and mix it with 90 ml of water present in the fourth beaker. Okay, we can see that the water in the fourth beaker is still colored. It is very light pink in color. So from this observation, we can observe that a small crystal of potassium permanganate can impart color to a large volume of water. From this, we can conclude that one crystal of potassium permanganate is made up of millions of particles which keep on dividing themselves into smaller and smaller particles. Okay, therefore these particles must be very, very small. And the particles of matter are so small that it cannot be seen with our naked eye. Okay. So we have we have learned what is matter made up of, and how small are the particles of matter. Now we'll study something about characteristics of particles of matter. There are 3 characteristics of particles of matter. Let us start with the first one. Particles of matter have spaces between them. Okay. Now for this activity, we will take about 100 ml of water in a glass. You can see in the figure glass, the blue dots in the glass represent particles of water. Now add 50 gram of sugar in the glass. Note the level of the water. Dissolve the sugar by stirring. When all the sugar is dissolved, we get a sugar solution. Now in the figure you can see glass, it has now blue dots as well as red dots. The blue dots indicate particles of water and the red dot indicate the particles of sugar. Okay. So let us look at the level of sugar solution in the beaker. We will find that the level of sugar solution remains the same. It has not increased. Why is this happening? This happens because the particles of water have spaces between them. So when the sugar crystals are added in this glass of water, the sugar crystals separate into very fine particles. These particles of sugar occupy the space or take up the space that are present in between the particles of water. That is why the level of water remains the same. So this activity indicates that there are spaces between particles of matter. It also gives another conclusion that particles of matter, that particles of water are not tightly packed. They are somewhat loose. The second characteristic is particles of matter attract each other. Take a piece of chalk and try to break it. You know, it is very easy to break a piece of chalk. It requires less force to break a chalk piece. Now try to break an iron nail. It is really difficult. The iron nail does not break at all, even with a large force. So why is this happening? This happens because the particles of matter attract each other and there is a force between them. You can see in this picture, this orange circles are particles of matter. Okay, the particles of matter are attracted by a force of attraction, and this force of attraction is known as intermolecular force. So each particle of matter attracts other particle by this force of attraction. Now in case of chalk particles, the force of attraction is weak. The force of attraction is weak. That is why we were able to break the chalk piece. But in case of nail, the force of attraction is very strong. That is the reason we were not able to break it. If I give another example, we can move our hand easily through air. We can wave our hand, right, through air. Why is this happening? Because the force of attraction between the particles of air is very, very small. They are negligible. That is the reason we can move our hand easily through air. But if you take the case of plank of wood, we cannot move our hand through a plank of wood. Why? Because the force of attraction between the particles of wood is very strong. Okay, so this example and activity indicates that the particle of matter attract each other. The third characteristic is particles of matter are continuously moving. Now, look into the figure. If there is a burning incense stick in one part of a room, or a person, can see a person applying perfume, and you are standing on another corner of a room, and still you're able to smell the perfume or the incense stick. How does this happen? This happens because as soon as you open the perfume bottle, the particles of perfume start moving rapidly in all directions. They take up the space in between the moving air particles. The same thing happens in the case of incense stick. The burning incense stick produces vapors. These vapors move rapidly in all directions and they mix with the moving air particles. Now, if the vapors produced by incense stick and the particles of air were not moving, then the fragrance could not spread in the whole room quickly. Okay, so from this it indicates that the particles of matter are continuously moving. So today we have learned about what is matter, what matter is made up of, how small are the particles of matter, and characteristics of particles of matter. Now, there's an assignment given, few questions are given. Okay, whatever we have learned, everything is it is based on that. So just go through it. Thank you, children.